As Sergeant Jacobs peered out across the Albion wheatfields and grasslands, he couldn't help but feel a faint smile crack his lips as the warm summer breeze kissed his cheek. With a contented sigh, the 20-year veteran of the Albion Defence Militia felt pleased with the fact that he'd finally found a quiet posting to eke out his final days of service before retiring to a quiet piece of land that he'd been saving up for a number of years. Not that you could consider Sergeant Jacobs' career as exciting. By the standards of the 31st century, a few pirate raids and the occasional police action is hardly heavy combat. Still, there was an air of pride in the grizzled-faced veteran's demeanour as he and his men hurriedly prepared the position for a military inspection. As his men moved boxes from one part of the position to the other, polished their buttons and prepped their rifles, there was nothing that would seem to hint that the next couple of moments could quite possibly be their last. Suddenly, the peaceful morning was shattered by a loud crack. As he looked up to the sky, he saw the unmistakable contrails of dropships falling from orbit. Every fibre in his being told him to do something. Report it. Run for cover. But he just stood there, transfixed on the objects as they came to a slow, gentle and graceful landing. As soon as the dropships hit the ground, their hangar doors opened, spewing out their contents. 5 huge mechs splitting off in several directions looking for their quarry. It was only then that Jacobs and his men reacted, each one throwing down the object they had in their hand and running for the tree line. But by then it was far too late. The unmistakable roar of LRMs filled the air, contrails and warheads heading towards them. Within seconds their position was engulfed. Explosions landed all around Jacobs and his men. Jacobs himself was flown several meters into the air. Suddenly all was quiet, deafening ringing in his head. He could taste blood. All he could feel was the pain. A numbness of first, but then it started to surge through his entire body. As he tried to regain his bearings and stay conscious, he looked around and saw the broken bodies of his men lying in heaps on the ground. He looked up. Towering above him was this huge, mechanical monster, whose pilot seemed oblivious to the carnage he just wrought on him and his men. As the last few breaths left his lungs, Jacobs could barely make out the insignia on the side of the mech, a line of stars emblazoned with the wolf. And at that final sight, Jacobs lost consciousness. Hello boys and girls, this is Applogies, and I hope you enjoyed my little short story, which will accompany the introduction to probably what is my favourite clan mech, the Direwolf, also known within the Innisphere as the Daishi. So, without further ado, let's get into the detail. The Direwolf is a 100-ton assault omni-mech, originally designed by Clan Wolf. However, it was first produced by Clan Mechwarrior in the year 3010, when they won the right to produce the mech after a trial of possession. And let's face it, it wouldn't be the first or the last time the clans would give away a tactical advantage due to something like a trial. However, Clan Jaguar's advantage with regards to the Direwolf didn't last very long, as after a further trial of possession won by Star Colonel Ulrich, Clan Wolf began production of the Direwolf in the year 3019. Now the Direwolf comes with a hefty price tag, namely 29,350,000 C-bills. So any that exist outside Clan Wolf, Smoke Jaguar and the Wolf Dragoons are either given away as gifts or have been traded. And to be fair, if you're giving one of these monsters away as a gift, someone better be getting that sweet, sweet clan ass. So let's look at the technical loadout of the Direwolf. The Direwolf, as already stated, is a 100-ton assault omni-mech with a cruising speed of 54 kilometers an hour. That's almost 10 kilometers faster than the relatively light 66-ton M1A2C Abrams. And of course, the Direwolf carries a hell of a lot more firepower. In its primary configuration, the Direwolf carries an extensive payload of long-range weaponry, with a few short range and medium range weapons for backup and support. The prime configuration includes 4 ER large lasers, 2 ultra auto cannon 5s, 1 LRM 10, as well as 4 medium pulse lasers just in case something decides to get close. Now, of course, being an Omni-Mech, there are several ways to configure your death machine, and I won't go through all of them here, but I will go through some notable ones. Alternative configuration A swaps out the armaments for a Gauss rifle, 3 large pulse lasers, 2 Streak SRM-6s, and an anti-missile system. Alternative configuration B puts even more firepower in what is already a formidable mech, housing within its Omni hardpoints 4 Ultra Autocannon 2s, 2 ERPPCs, an LBX Autocannon 10, and a small laser to turn infantrymen into crispy piles of ash. The S configuration is designed for urban and jungle warfare. Houses a massive LBX Autocannon 20 capable of destroying most light mechs in a single hit. This is then backed up by a single large pulse laser, which is meant to provide additional long-range support. In short-range engagements, the configuration S model has 5 medium pulse lasers and 2 Streak SRM-4 launchers, along with 2 anti-personnel pods and 2 machine guns, to provide exceptional anti-infantry capabilities. Now, with that all being said, it's easy to see why the Direwolf is perhaps my favourite clan mech, as it is capable of completing any mission and any task given to it, and it also looks freaking awesome. Now, there are of course going to be individuals who say that it's not worth the price. After all, for 29 million C-bills, you can equip an entire Atlas assault lance along with spare parts and still have enough to take all your friends to Space Nando's, but that really isn't the point when it comes to the Direwolf. It is basically death on legs. Much like the Timberwolf, it is the clan's incarnate. The Direwolf is overwhelming firepower and force projection. Why would you need to send an entire star or lance of heavy or medium mechs when one Direwolf can get the job done?